One thing that every fan can be sure about is the fact that One Piece Chapter 1094 will most definitely continue to fight between Luffy and Kizaru. These two characters were seen fighting in the previous chapter. However, much to the surprise of the fans, the Marine Admiral does not seem all that intent on fighting. Instead, his mission matters more to him, and as a result, he is trying his best to get rid of Luffy so he gets an opportunity to assassinate Vegapunk. If he gets involved in an extended battle with Luffy, he knows that his chances of getting rid of Vegapunk go down considerably. As such, it would be much smarter for him to keep Luffy busy with his party tricks and get the real job done. He already attempted this once in the previous chapter, and in the next one, fans might see him actually do this once again. It must be remembered that Vegapunk is currently in the Fabrio phase. While the Frontier Dome is already locked, Kizaru is made of light and can easily pass through. Luffy, on the other hand, might have to force himself out of the dome as well and follow him down to the Fabrio phase, which is where the remaining of the fighting might take place. Normally, Vegapunk would have been endangered had he gone to the level below by himself. However, he does have Sanji with him, so in any case, even if Kizaru attacks, the cook can take care of the former marine scientist. Luffy has already crossed the Frontier Dome twice, and it is expected of him to do it once again if need be. One Piece Chapter 1094 will also, most likely, feature a battle between the Pacifists and the Marines who are currently on the Fabrio phase. A few chapters ago, it was established that the Marines had successfully taken control of the level below on Egghead. This means the vast majority of the 9 Vice Admirals are currently on the island. After Kizaru took control of the Pacifists, they likely did not have much to do and were on standby. However, in the previous chapter, Atlas took control of them once again, and that only means that the Vice Admirals will be called into action. The Pacifists were asked to deal with the threat of the Marines and eliminate them all. That is something fans will likely see in One Piece Chapter 1094 as these powerful cyborgs show what exactly their level of power is. One Piece 1094 also allows the fans a moment to gauge how strong the Marine Vice Admirals are as well. While it is a known fact that the strength among the Vice Admirals varies, fans also know that there are some very powerful ones out there on Egghead right now. The likes of Dahl and Doberman are ones that fans should keep an eye out for. There are also many other Vice Admirals that could actually turn out to be strong and surprise the fans. After all, these are powerful fighters with decent control over Haki that can surprise anyone. It is very likely that these two characters will be seen in combat against the likes of the Mark III Pacifists or other pirates such as Bonnie, Frankie, and Sanji. Regardless, fans should completely expect One Piece 1094 to feature the Marines heavily as the story gets taken to the Fabrio phase. With Atlas having taken control over the Pacifists, a very interesting plot point is triggered in One Piece, and fans can very well see that take place in One Piece Chapter 1094. Time and again, in the Egghead arc, the Pacifista control hierarchy has been explained to the fans. While Vegapunk possesses the highest level of control over these Pacifistas on the island, at the very top are the 5 Elders. Unbeknownst to Vegapunk, one of the 5 Elders, Saturn, is currently right outside the island as well aboard one of the vessels. Fans might get to see the Pacifistas on the side of Vegapunk and the pirates for a while. However, it won't be long until Saturn will be forced to make a move and order these Pacifistas to listen to him and attack all the pirates instead. This is a plot point that will come into play sooner rather than later, and given the ominous panel that One Piece Chapter 1093 ended on, the time for it could be now. If this ends up happening, then One Piece Chapter 1094 will see the backs of the Straw Hat Pirates turn to the wall. They will have nowhere to run and the forces of the enemies would simply be too overwhelming. Fans already know that Luffy is currently busy fighting against Kizaru. Zoro, on the other hand, is fighting against Lucci. Sanji, as strong as he is, can't take on 50 Pacifistas as well as 9 Vice Admirals. Jinbei is currently preparing for the escape, while Robin was seen injured previously. There is not enough firepower for the Straw Hat Pirates to combat all these powerful forces. The chances for victory get lowered even further if Saturn decides to join the battle himself. However, there is one trump card that could very well help them in this battle. Quite easily, the biggest trump card of the Straw Hat Pirates in this fight is the Iron Giant. Fans know that Luffy ended up awakening the Giant in the previous chapter once he used the Giant form of Gear 5 in his fight against Kizaru. This Iron Giant is now awake, and it is only a matter of time before it starts moving once again. Its previous target was Marihoa, so at the moment, it would be difficult to say what exactly its current target is going to be. However, the fact that Luffy is the one who could power it up also suggests that he can control it as well. If that is true, then the Straw Hat Pirates will have a very powerful ally at their aid that could help them destroy the Navy fleet and, at the same time, also provide an escape from the island. Furthermore, the crew desperately needs to regroup and reconsider their priorities in this fight. Luffy needs to take care of Saturn in this battle, given that he's likely going to be the strongest as one of the warrior gods of the world. Kizaru should be taken on by the combined forces of Zoro and Sanji. Meanwhile, Jinbei could do well against Lucci, just as he did against Who's Who. The Pacifists could all be taken on by the Iron Giant, while the Straw Hat Pirates take care of the Marine Vice Admirals one by one. This battle is going to be an uphill one for the crew, however. It is one that they absolutely have to win if they want to protect Vegapunk, and more importantly, continue their journey as pirates on the seas. One Piece Chapter 1094 is going to be crucial, as these major plot points will be tackled in the chapter. Can we just talk about the fact that Kizaru can make shadow clones? In One Piece Chapter 1093, Kizaru displayed a completely new ability for the fans to witness. When Luffy used Gear 5 and hurled Kizaru towards the sea, the Marine Admiral took flight and decided to fight back using a very unique technique. The start of this technique was quite similar to one of his attacks that fans have seen quite often, called Yasukani no Magatama. This technique allows Kizaru to produce tiny spherical particles that he can then barrage at his enemies from all sides. Given that these travel at the speed of light, it is incredibly difficult to dodge all of them. In fact, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that it is impossible to dodge all of them, and very few people who have taken it head-on have survived. Kizaru used this ability to barrage Luffy with these spherical bullets, however, that is precisely when he pulled off a completely new ability. Every single one of these spherical bullets suddenly started turning into Kizaru himself. Essentially, Kizaru displayed the ability to clone himself. Given that he had fired off quite a lot of these spherical bullets towards Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirate found himself surrounded by multiple clones of Kizaru. Usually, one would assume that these clones only exist to cause an illusion and open up a way for the real body to land and attack. Generally, that is the cliché associated with them. However, Kizaru uses them in a very different way. To the surprise of the fans, every single clone that Kizaru created out of his Yasukani no Magatama beads appears to be capable of their own actions and thoughts. These clones themselves were seen wielding a light sword, called Aim no Murakumo. Using these light swords, they then decided to fight against Luffy, instead of only allowing an opening for the real body to strike. While Luffy was able to fight back against them quite easily, one of them managed to land a cut on his cheek, which just goes to show that they can actually harm Luffy, but Luffy cannot touch them in return. Luffy immediately compared these light clones to the holograms that he saw on the island earlier, as well as the hollows created by Perona. This is down to the fact that he could not harm them or touch them with armament haki. However, after luring all of them behind him in a single line, Luffy used a Dawn Stamp to kick all of them at the same time, and with that, the light was dispelled. Given that these clones are not Kizaru himself, it is likely that they do not possess the ability to rematerialize after the light has been scattered, which might be the only weakness of these clones. Luffy is strong, so he can easily handle them in a fight. However, against regular opponents, this ability could be extremely dangerous. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that this power could wipe out an entire army by itself. Well guys, we are done. What do you think will happen in Chapter 1094? Leave your answers in the comments section below. And please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads.